It will come as no surprise to you that I'm all about setting up right. In fact, that is the foundation of Rent to Rent 2.0. Building a professional image, a credible image, a brand, a story that makes sense, that's gonna help fast track your rent to rent journey. It's not a case of going on a property course and then calling agents and landlords saying, "You all right, mate? How's it going, mate? I guarantee you'll rent for 5 years, take on all the property and management." It's not that. It's not going to work, okay? And you're going to be moving so slow, it's not going to be worth your time. So in this video, my aim is to share with you my 12 steps to setting up your rent-to-rent business in the right way. And across each of them, I'm going to be giving you a little more because I appreciate my Creative Cashflow Plus members. I want to give you a bit more value, a bit more insight to help you and to thank you for being part of this community. Step 1, create a limited company. Now, I can't give accountancy or financial advice, and some accountants might tell you that it's a good idea to start in a personal name depending on your tax bracket. But for me, I think the benefits of a limited company outweigh the disadvantages, okay? Number one, you have more power over your tax, as I said. So in a limited company, your tax liability is actually capped. So it doesn't matter if you earn 100 grand or 100 million, it's essentially the same corporation tax, okay? Which is really, really powerful. Number two, it detaches you from the company. So if anything was to go wrong, it would be the limited company that was liable, not you, Simon Smith, okay? Not you in your personal name. And I think that gives us a little bit of a safety sort of buffer. Another great reason for setting up a limited company is the credibility it affords you. And what I mean by this is Companies House is obviously internationally recognized. It is the universal big boy business platform. If you're not on Companies House, you're probably not a big company, okay? So it's great to get on that ladder and start building up some accounts and history that a landlord can have a look at and see, wow, like, you know, they've been trading for a while. Now, obviously, if you're setting up one, you're brand new, but you have to start somewhere. So there's times when you may need to be honest and say, you know, I did start last year, or I did start yesterday. That was my vibe. But I am looking to build and scale. We're doing things properly and we won't let you down. And you'll be amazed how fast the time actually passes. Top tip. Do not over procrastinate about the name, okay? The key thing is that you just set up this business and you get cracking. Really, really important. Please, whatever you do, don't be thinking of a name for days and days and weeks and weeks and weeks. And 3 top tips, 3 lessons, 3 take homes that I think will be valuable to you. You want to make sure that it's available on Companies House. Make sure that you can get a good domain name, www.whatever. And also do a bit of a Google and Facebook to make sure that somebody's not doing the exact same business model in a similar area with the same name, because it might come back to bite you later on. Step 2, set up your business bank account. That's right, you're gonna need a bank account to collect all this cash flow. And it can't be your personal bank account. Top tip, once you've done step 1, if you go on Companies House, you can see your company registration number and you will need that to start your bank account. Also, I know that some people have been struggling to set up bank accounts post-COVID. So if in doubt, get yourself in the community, ask around, do some searches in the search browser in the Creative Cashflow Plus community and find out who is offering the best bank accounts at the moment and get one set up right now. Step 3, brand, logo, and design. So you've got your name, you've checked it's available, now you need to build a brand. Disclaimer, I recently rebranded, so this doesn't necessarily need to be the brand that you're gonna have forever, but you want it to look good and you want to be proud of it so that you can tell everybody what you do. Top tip, if you're like me and you're not that good at logo design and all that, I would outsource this to somebody on a fiverr.com, for example. And what you want to do is you want to say, this is my name, this is any ideas I've got, this is any references of other logos you like, and also pick 2 to 3 brand colors that are going to represent your brand. You'll probably notice by now my Simon Smith Online brand colors. You'll know the colors because I use them consistently. I've also got brand colors for my rent to rent business, and that gives you a brand identity so that people recognize, oh yeah, that's Simon, or oh yeah, you know, that's whatever. If you think about the biggest brands in the world, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, they've all got 2 or 3 colors. Another thing you can do is you can actually look at what your core principles of your business are going to stand for, because some colors mean certain things. So once you've sent that off to get designed, you can move on and make sure that you use the community opinion, okay, in the Creative Cashflow Plus to get other people's opinions on your logo, because we'd love to hear from you and would love to feedback. Step 4, website design and launch. You're gonna need a website, okay? You should have already checked that the domain was available before choosing the name, okay? Don't choose the name, get to this stage and be like, oh damn, there's no domain name ready, okay? It doesn't necessarily have to be mcdonalds.com. It could be My McDonald's, it could be McDonald's for you, it could be McDonald's UK, you know, so just if the main business name isn't available, just try and be a little bit flexible. But I personally like to go for .co.uk and .com. I think that's where it's at. I actually built my first website using Squarespace. You've got a few of them. You've got GoDaddy, you've got Wix, you've got Squarespace, where they will give you templates, and it's quite easy for you to build this website up. If you need examples of websites, search the community and look at other people, but don't try and reinvent the wheel here. Keep it nice, keep it simple, and once again, get it done. The quicker you get this done, the quicker you can move on to the next step. Step 5, create a professional email. So I see so many of you trying to source deals with a ladiesman74652@hotmail.com. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. You need to reinvent your business, reinvent yourself, reinvent your email. So your email should be lisa@mypropertycompanyname.com. Okay, really, really important. Okay, I see so many people skipping this stage, and it just lets the credibility down. And depending on which service you use, whether it be GoDaddy, Squarespace, Wix, you should be able to do that all in there. If in doubt, get on Fiverr, get somebody to do it for you, get a relative or somebody that's a bit techie to do it for you. Get it boxed off, get it on your website, and let's move on. Step 6, local phone number. That's right. It's so important that you've got a local professional landline phone number, not an 077 number, okay? And not a London number when you're based in Newcastle. And the reason for this is it gives you credibility, and it gives the impression that you're local, you've got local knowledge, you're a local business, and you're also on hand to look after these properties. The easiest way of doing this, I didn't have a landline. So I added a landline onto my, my internet or whatever, and I just literally stuck a phone in, 10 quid from, Argos or whatever it was, and it cost me like £5 a month, and I divert that phone to my mobile. That was the first step. Later, once you pick up speed, you can actually start to get sort of a call center service. So there's one more step between you and them. And the easiest and quickest way of doing this is I phoned up my internet provider, I added a landline with a call divert, I went into town, I got myself a £10 cheap phone, plugged it in, diverted that phone to my mobile, okay? And then I was in. I look good, okay? I look professional. Later down the line, I've now implemented a call center service as well. There's great people that do that. But first things first, let's just get the professional number. So we're at the halfway point. I hope you're finding this useful. As I've said, this is a mini series exclusive for you in the Creative Cashflow Plus. Let me know if you find it useful. And if you have any questions, any additional support you want, head over to either Community Opinion or Ask the Experts. Put your questions in and I or somebody else from the community will get back to you. Step 7, traditional marketing, okay? Now, as much as the online stuff is fantastic, we do need an underpinning of the physical stuff. And what I recommend you do at the beginning is once you've got your website, you've nailed it, I would repurpose that into a small brochure or a 2-page A4 document that you can take to viewing. So if people want to know about you, you can say, hey, this is what we do. One top tip here is I've realized that a lot of the time, the person that you meet at the property may or may not be the decision maker. So the good thing about giving them something tangible is that they can take it home, show their spouse, and then get feedback. Another really, really important thing here is a lot of our landlords will be older people. So they may or may not be across the internet in the same way that you or I are. So it's great to give them something physical. And what's also a good example is to give them a copy of the example agreement so that they've got something that they can read over to fully understand your offering. Step 8 is digital marketing. And at the beginning, you want to keep it simple. I recommend one social media platform, choose. I really, really think LinkedIn is a good one to attract landlords. You don't need every single platform. If you are going to have the platform though, make sure that you do post. Don't set something up and leave it. It's best not to have any. Okay, because if somebody finds you and there's no post, it's going to scream beginner. And the next thing you'll also want to do is set up a Google business. And that should be assigned to your registered address, which should also be local to your gold mine area. So last time you booked a restaurant, you probably Googled it. On the right-hand side of the Google bar, you would have seen, the phone number, the reviews, the address, and a little picture of the location. You want one of those. So when people search property management Leicester, they find you. Step 9, ICO registration. That's right. Any company in the UK collecting people's information, storing people's information needs to be a member by law. But it's super simple. You go on the website, you give them a little bit of criteria as to the amounts of information you're going to be handling, not a huge amount at the beginning, and you make an annual payment, which currently is around £40. So you can pay it £40 for a year membership. They give you a certificate. You're good. You're legally compliant. Super important. Please do not ignore it. Top tip, if you're just starting, you're probably not handling any data yet. So you may not need to sign up until you land your first deal. Step 10, join a property Regs scheme. That's right. In rent to rent, we're going to be managing properties that we don't own, and therefore it is a legal requirement for us to join one of the property Regs schemes. Now there's a few to choose from. I'm personally a member of the PRS. I really like it. They've got a great login facility, loads of information, loads of guidance, and also it's really affordable. It's around £200 for a whole year. Just go for the basic package at the beginning. And once again, don't sign up until you are managing property that you don't own. So you can save your money for now and do it when you get your first deal. Step 11, business insurance. You will need a few different types of insurances to make sure that you're compliant and trading safely in rent to rent. First things first, you're going to need business insurance, and that will consist of private indemnity and public liability insurance. Later down the line, when you've got employees, you will need a top up for that. But for now, you just want to focus on a basic insurance policy. Shouldn't be much more than a few £100 for a year. Once again, until you actually started to trade, you may not need to do it, but obviously I can't give insurance advice. But I do have access to insurance brokers to assist if you need any help. Once you've secured your rent-to-rent deal, you'll then need to work with the landlord to ensure that you've got the right cover, okay? Whether that be for the HMO or SA, and of course the landlord would still need their building insurance as normal. Step 12, agreements and documents. That's right, it's time to get the deal, it's time to go out there. You need to make sure that you've got the right paperwork, and I personally advise you get it ahead of time, because you don't want to get a deal, not have the paperwork, delay, and then lose the deal. So you're going to need a few things. Number one, a management agreement to use with your direct to vendors, your landlords, okay? Which says, yeah, we're going to manage the property, we're going to guarantee your rent, here are all the termination clauses, here's your responsibilities, my responsibilities, so everybody's super clear. Number two, you're going to need to understand a company let agreement. And this is the agreement that most letting agents will want to use, but they'll want to use theirs, they'll send it you. So you need to learn what goes behind going into this, what needs to be edited, what needs to be added, what needs to be changed. Top tip, you need to make sure that whatever agreements you're holding, you didn't just get off John from Facebook. You got to be confident about these because you're literally putting your money on the line. So make sure you don't cut shortcuts here and you get the right trusted agreements. So important. And never ever sign agreements that you don't understand. Never sign an AST with a letting agent. Never sign a really short agreement. Never sign an agreement where they don't know what you're doing. Okay? And lastly, you're going to need documents. So once you've got the deal, you've signed the management agreement or the company let agreement, that's when you're going to need the paperwork for your tenants, your HMO clients, and your SA clients. So there you have it. They were my 12 steps to setting up the perfect rent-to-rent 2.0 business. Focus on 1 through 6 initially, scale up to 12. I hope you found this video useful. Any questions, post them on Ask the Experts and I will personally respond, and I'll see you in the next video.